Welcome back to PrimeWorth. Today we're diving into one of the simplest yet most powerful budgeting tools ever created, the 50-30-20 rule. If budgeting has ever felt complicated or overwhelming, this method will feel like a breath of fresh air. It's easy to remember, flexible for almost any income, and designed to help you balance your needs, wants, and future goals without the stress of overthinking every dollar. So what exactly is the 50-30-20 rule? It's a budgeting formula that divides your after-tax income into three categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings or debt repayment. Think of it as a pie chart for your money. By following this method, you make sure your essentials are covered, your lifestyle has breathing room, and your future gets funded, all at the same time. Let's break down the first slice: needs. This is the 50%. These are things you absolutely must pay to survive, like rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, insurance, and minimum debt payments. If you lose your job tomorrow, these are the bills you'd still have to cover no matter what. They aren't optional, they're your foundation. Keeping this at 50% prevents you from being house poor or bill buried. The second slice is wants. That's your 30. Now, wants often get a bad reputation, but let's be real, life is meant to be enjoyed. Wants include eating out, streaming subscriptions, gym memberships, shopping, vacations, concerts, or that latte you love. They're not necessary for survival, but they add flavor and happiness. Allocating 30% to wants allows you to enjoy your money guilt-free because fun is built right into the budget. Finally, the last slice is the 20% savings and debt repayment. This is where the magic happens. This money builds your emergency fund, grows your investments, and helps you pay down debt faster. Think of it as future you money. Every dollar in this category buys you peace of mind, financial freedom, and long-term security. Whether it's saving for retirement or crushing credit cards, this 20% is what changes your life. Let's see this in action. Imagine you take home $3,000 a month after taxes. Under the 50-30-20 rule, you'd spend $1,500 on needs, $900 on wants, and $600 on savings or debt. Simple, right? No complicated spreadsheets, no math headaches. You instantly know your limits. The beauty is its flexibility. You decide what fits where as long as you stick to the percentages. It's like financial training wheels. But what if your needs are more than 50%? For example, if rent in your city takes up 40% of your income alone. That's common in expensive areas. Don't panic, the rule is a guideline, not a law. If your needs take 60%, adjust your wants down to 20%. The point isn't perfection, it's balance. Even if the pie shifts, you're still making conscious, smart decisions about where your money goes. Here's why the rule works. It forces you to balance today and tomorrow. Without a framework, many people overspend on wants and ignore savings. Others save too aggressively but feel miserable, cutting out every fun thing. The 50-30-20 rule avoids both extremes. You're covering essentials, enjoying life, and building your future all in harmony. It's not just about money, it's about creating a balanced lifestyle that lasts. Let's talk examples. Suppose you earn $2,500 monthly, needs $1,250, savings $500. In real terms, that could mean $800 rent, $250 groceries, $200 utilities, $500 for restaurants, streaming, and hobbies, and $500 into debt payments and savings. Suddenly, your money has structure. You're not just hoping things add up, you've got a game plan. And game plans always win over guesswork. One common mistake people make is confusing needs and wants. For example, food is a need, but eating sushi at a fancy restaurant is a want. Transportation is a need, but buying a luxury car, that's a want. The line can blur, but being honest about what's truly essential makes this system work. Mislabeling wants as needs is how budgets collapse. The rule keeps you accountable. Another mistake, ignoring debt in the savings category. If you owe credit cards, student loans, or personal loans, part of your 20% should go there. Why? Because every dollar you use to pay down debt is like a guaranteed investment return. If your credit card charges 20% interest, paying it off is like earning 20% risk-free. That's powerful. Debt repayment counts as investing in your freedom. Here's a cool hack. Automate the 20%. The moment your paycheck lands, set up auto transfers for savings or debt payments. That way, the money disappears before you can spend it. Humans are weak against temptation, but automation is discipline on autopilot. You'll be amazed how quickly your emergency fund or debt-free journey grows when the decision isn't left up to willpower. Now, let's add some real-world flavor. Imagine Sarah, who earns $4,000 after tax. Following 50-30-20, she puts $2,000 to wants and $800 to savings. She builds a $5,000 emergency fund in less than 7 months while still enjoying dinners and travel. Sarah's not rich, she's structured. That's the beauty of this rule. It works for everyday people, not just financial experts. Or take Alex, who earns $2,000 but has $1,400 in rent and bills. His needs are already 70%, so he adjusts wants go down to 10% and savings are just 20%. It's not the ideal ratio, but it's realistic. The rule flexes to fit his reality. That's what makes it sustainable. Unlike rigid systems, 50-30-20 bends without breaking. It's money management that adapts to life. What about high earners? Suppose someone makes $10,000 a month. 50-30-20 would suggest $5,000 for needs, $3,000 for savings. But often high earners don't actually need to spend $5,000 on basics. That's where the rule becomes a launching pad. Instead of following the ratios strictly, they can reduce wants and needs and funnel more into savings and investments. Flexibility is the secret ingredient. Here's why people love this rule. It's simple enough to do in your head. Unlike complicated budgets with endless categories, this one only has 3. That's it. It's not about tracking every penny, it's about broad strokes. And broad strokes are enough to paint a clear financial picture. For beginners or anyone tired of spreadsheets, the 50-30-20 rule makes budgeting feel doable, not dreadful. Now let's compare it to dieting. Imagine you're trying to eat healthier. Needs are your proteins and veggies, wants are your desserts and snacks, and savings are like drinking enough water. If you cut out everything fun, you'll binge later. If you eat only junk, you'll crash. Balance is the key. The 50-30-20 rule is like a nutrition plan, but for your wallet instead of your stomach. Some people ask, what if I'm broke? Great question. If your income barely covers rent, this rule may not fit perfectly at first. That's okay. Focus on stabilizing needs, then gradually work savings into the mix, even if it's just $10 a month. Starting small is still starting. Remember, the percentages are guides, not chains. The goal is progress, not perfection. Even 1% saved is a win. The psychological benefit of the rule is huge. It gives you permission to spend. You don't feel guilty buying coffee or going on a trip because you know it fits into your Budgeting stops being about no and starts being about yes within limits. This shift makes it sustainable long-term. You're not punishing yourself, you're enjoying life while still planning for the future. Let's talk adjustments over time. Your budget isn't static. Maybe you get a raise, or rent goes up, or you pay off a loan. Every few months, revisit your 50-30-20 breakdown. Does it still work? Do you need to shift categories? Flexibility keeps it alive. Think of it like a health checkup. You don't wait until you're sick. You check early, adjust, and keep your financial health thriving. If you're a couple or family, the rule works too. Combine your income and apply the same percentages. It creates a shared framework so you're not arguing about money constantly. You both know the rules of the game. That $100 dinner out isn't wasting money. It's part of the Agreeing on percentages saves arguments later. The rule turns money fights into money teamwork. Want to speed things up? Shrink wants temporarily. For example, drop wants to 20% and push savings to 30%. This is great if you're paying off high-interest debt or chasing a big goal like a down payment. The beauty of 50-30-20 is it's adjustable. You can lean one way for a few months, then rebalance later. It's not strict, it's a tool to move you forward faster. Let's recap quickly: 50 to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to savings or debt. It's a guideline, not a prison. It works because it's simple, flexible, and balanced. Whether you're just starting out or already earning well, it provides structure without micromanagement. Remember, money without a plan disappears, but with this plan, you direct it toward survival, enjoyment, and freedom all at once. The big takeaway: the 50-30-20 rule is less about numbers and more about habits. When you practice dividing your income this way, you're training yourself to prioritize what matters, avoid overspending, and build consistency. The numbers might shift, but the discipline you develop sticks for life. Money mastery isn't about complexity, it's about clarity. And that's exactly what this rule delivers. Thanks for watching PrimeWorth. Now that you know the 50-30-20 rule, it's time to apply it. Sit down with your income, divide it into needs, wants, and savings, and watch how much simpler money becomes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more practical money wisdom. Remember, a budget doesn't limit your freedom, it creates it. So how will you divide your dollars this month?